Finding age-appropriate games for my kids to play can be an absolute pain. Trawling through the vast array of choices takes up a lot of time that I simply don't have, and I like to make sure that I vet every single game that my kids want to play before I allow them to play it. Quite often they want games that I feel aren't suitable for them yet, but all their friends have been allowed to play them. Recently, one of my kids asked me about GTA 5 because one of their older friends has been talking about it. Now, my kids are aged 8 and 10. There's absolutely no way that I would allow them to play a game like that. Not only because it's rated M for adults, but also because it's just not a nice game in general, in my opinion. And just because other parents allow their children to play games like that doesn't mean that I have to follow the crowd and allow it too. Children are only young for a short amount of time. So I said, let them have their childhood and enjoy games that are age appropriate. That said, there are plenty of games out there for them to enjoy right now. So together with FamiSave, we've come up with our top 10 video games for kids. Now this list is not exhaustive and is not limited to a specific console, but they are mostly aimed for PlayStation or Xbox. Now before we get on with the list, let me make one quick disclaimer. In order to protect our kids from dopamine overdose or game addiction or any other exposure or disorder that may be associated with this, you should guys look into using the FamiSave screen time feature that will allow you to limit the time and exposure that your kids have to gaming, as well as block any inappropriate content. I will put links to some tutorials in the description, but you can also check some of these videos up here. Our countdown starts with number 10, Just Dance. Just Dance has been around for a while now, and it's still maintained its popularity since it was first released in 2009. It's a dance battle for kids of all ages, and it's fun for parents too. It includes over 40 songs, over 400 songs on a subscription service, so that your kids don't get bored with playing the same songs over and over. On top of that, it also has kids mode with a few songs for younger children to enjoy too. You can also use an app on your phone to track your movements rather than buying more equipment, which is a great bonus. What I like about Just Dance is that it gets kids moving rather than just sitting around and playing video games with the controllers in their hands. Next up is a super fun game called Plants vs. Zombies, which is the only shooting game I have included in this list. But in fairness, it contains absolutely no gore, even though you'd think that having zombies in it may be inappropriate for kids. The design of the game, though, is fun. You battle through as either a plant or a zombie, and it can be played as a single player, multiplayer, or even cooperatively. It's a fun romp through, a little frenetic, but it will definitely keep your kids entertained. And adults too. I love playing this game as well. Unravel 2 takes my number 8 spot. Now, I just loved Unravel 1, and Unravel 2 doesn't disappoint it either. It has such a beautiful, gentle and calm vibe to it. My kids really enjoy it too, but I think that the eclectic and whimsical styling is somewhat lost on them. Unravel is kind of like a physics-based puzzle game using an adorable yarn toy called Yarny that travels through different settings like an overgrown garden or tangled dark leafy forest to find lost objects and restore lost memories. Unravel 2 allows for 2 players to work cooperatively to solve the puzzles, with Yarny being tethered to another blue yarn sidekick. This is a great game for younger kids, as some of them can be quite tricky and take a while to figure out, so having an older sibling, friend or parent to help them along the way makes the game so much more enjoyable. Coming in at number 7 is the Spyro Trilogy. This is a remastered version, one of the 3 Spyro games that were available, so you essentially get 3 games in one. Kids love the fun, colorful 3D cartoon-like graphics, but most of all, they just love the adventures that come with playing Spyro. They have to collect items, solve puzzles, and explore several realms that all need saving. Some of the puzzles may be difficult for younger kids, but the good thing about the Spyro Trilogy is that you don't need to complete the level in order to move on, which can always be an issue with some of the games. This means that kids can just have a blast running through rather than getting stuck on a level just because they can't defeat it. For all of the kids who love playing racing games or sports games, or even if they don't, Rocket League combines rocket-powered cars playing different sports with a giant oversized ball. Sometimes it's football, sometimes basketball, or even ice hockey. It's a little insane but absolutely addictive and very enjoyable game. Players try to climb through the ranks and get into the next game. Games are normally just 5 minutes long, so the quick play is sure to keep kids entertained. It's also one of a few games that even younger kids can enjoy without actually having too much skills. You won't feel like you're leaving the younger siblings or the younger kids sidelined and feeling left out. For kids who loved How to Train Your Dragon films or DreamWorks Dragon series, this video game will not disappoint. It carries on adventure with you playing as Thunder, an adorable dragon who needs to save the realms, all while finding his friends, who join you along the way on your adventure. It's a dragon battle fest that pits you against realm bosses using your super dragon powers. What's not to like? Younger kids will find the first few realms easy, but each level will get progressively harder and test their skills, making more difficult and challenging over time. This is a great game if your kids are feeling competitive. The weirdly named Untitled Goose Game is next on my list at number 4. But don't let the name fool you. This is a seriously enjoyable game which will have you and your kids laughing out loud at the antics that they get up to. You're basically a fairly obnoxious goose that terrorizes a village and generally causes mayhem wherever you go. And don't forget the honking. These geese don't stop honking. It sounds silly, and that's because it is. But that doesn't mean it's not a lot of fun. And did I mention that it's another puzzle solving game too? So you have to figure out how to lure the unsuspecting villagers into traps so that you can get items of them for your task list. Like getting this little boy to chase you for his plane so that when he trips and falls, his glasses fall off and then you can steal his glasses. Surprisingly, that can take some effort to figure out, and it certainly gets the old brain working too. Our kids absolutely love this game, and because it's a cooperative game, they can just team up and try to figure out how to fool people in a village and how to figure out every single puzzle. I'll be honest, I had avoided letting my kids play Overcooked for a long time. Not because it's not suitable for them content-wise, but because I just thought it was a pretty stupid game that gave no real value in terms of teaching our kids anything. I love games that also teach them a little bit of something. But I did eventually allow it because this may not be a puzzle game, but it definitely teaches kids a certain level of multitasking and how to play cooperatively with each other. Players have to come up with a game plan ahead of the time to designate tasks, then they set to preparing, cooking and plating up orders while also having several other tasks to get through, like clearing and cleaning dishes, as well as avoiding flying objects and other dangers within the game. It's actually a lot of fun, and with All You Can Eat, you get the first 2 Overcooked releases remastered, as well as few extra levels, even though there are literally hundreds of levels to complete. Coming in at number 2 is LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2. Although there's a new version just being released in October 2022, so this month. My kids are full superhero fans and they love all of the LEGO Marvel games. So no doubt they're going to love the new version too. The game involves you playing as a superhero character like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, battling the bad guys and figure out how to save the day. My kids prefer to play this together because it's just more fun and you can solve the problems together without having to constantly switch characters to use a different superhero ability all the time. I think the LEGO Marvel games have all been great and we've allowed playing them over the years. The kids keep coming back to these games again and again, playing missions and just generally enjoying the environment. It's even helped them with imaginative play away from the consoles as they reenact the different scenarios in real life. Minecraft has been entertaining kids for well over a decade now, and its popularity has not been slowing down. My son Enzo, my eldest, he absolutely loves Minecraft. Anything Minecraft goes. For any kids who are into building, engineering, problem solving, or just creating, this game is for them. If I didn't limit his time, he would happily spend all day in it if he could. My other son, who's not into the building and creating so much, he can take it or leave it. One thing though, both of them love the creative play. It's not called sandbox game for anything, and players can put it into creative mode and build away. As time has gone on, my kids have built more and more complex structures, including things like mazes, escape rooms. Of course, many kids played in survival mode, where you're fighting creepers, zombies, skeletons and giant spiders. It can be a little bit of a stressful game for some of the kids if played in survival mode, and most of the time my kids aren't interested in doing that. Then there's also adventure mode, where you can't actually build within it. You just have to play these mini games that you have created yourself or others. You can collaborate with other kids online, however, and add them to your friends list, but there are plenty of privacy and safety options available to limit this function. So there you have FamiSafe top 10 list of games for kids. What do you think? Do you have a game that you think should be included on this list? Please write it down into the comment section so I can take a look, and I'd be interested to see what you have to say. If there are any games that are suitable or you would recommend for kids, I'll take it with all 10 because my kids need to expand their list. If you like this video, make sure that you press the like button, subscribe to get more content like this, and don't forget to press the bell for notifications on any future videos. That's it for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!